Hey everybody, so this is going to be basically an introduction video into a series of videos that I'm looking to start doing over the next few months. Basically covering some questions that I get pretty often from you guys already, and I might be answering individually through email, or just issues that I've seen in athletes in general that may help for me to cover with you guys that just might not be as appropriate for me to create another document for, like you've seen in the client resource section, or to email you to explain, just because there's some nuances and some takes that I have on things that putting on paper can be kind of difficult and still get what I'm trying to explain out appropriately. So I just want to start doing some videos that aren't going to be super duper high quality or super professional, as you can see, the messy desk and things, but just things where I can kind of talk to you in person and hopefully give some more tidbits of information that, along with the client resource documents that I've already created over the last several months and our email check-ins, I can just kind of fill in the gaps. And also I realize that with most of you, almost entirely, we're working through email, which I personally love. One reason I do the emails is because connecting schedules to do phone calls and Skypes can be a headache even with two people, much less me with 30 to 40 plus clients. Just scheduling in general can be tough for both sides, and two, with different time zones and things like that. I personally enjoy emails, plus I'm just more of a typer than I am a talker as far as creating resources and content. That's one reason I've never really got into YouTube or really doing a lot of IG videos outside of just some training clips here and there. I don't even really like taking pictures of myself very much, so I just kind of gravitate towards emails, and I feel like I've become very efficient with that. But I also realize that with a lot of you guys, that's pretty much where it ends, that and then just the documents that I've created. So rather than you always having to read everything that I put out to help you, I really wanted to try to work on some new resources that would just kind of help me fill in the gap between being an online coach that's very accessible, but mostly through email and you just reading what I say, and the other end of the spectrum of being in person, which a lot of you I've unfortunately not even been able to meet in person, much less talk to in person consistently. So I think this video series will help just because it'll kind of bridge that gap, and you can at least see who I am and hear my voice, and again kind of bridge that gap, but then also to help me explain my thoughts and some research that I've seen, and just kind of everything that goes into my thoughts on certain topics that I either have questions about pretty often from clients new and old, and then also just some things that I see in other athletes or that I've experienced myself and how I manage those, just as an additional way for me to try to help you guys and to answer a lot of questions efficiently, and then of course even things that you might not have thought of or I might have wrongly assumed you already have an understanding of or already have considered strategies for. I can kind of cover those and just really make sure that you're off to as good of a start as possible, and even as we continue growing together for however long we end up working together, I can just really cover a lot of things before they're even an issue. That way it's less stressful for you, and you can just really hit the ground running. So this is kind of just an introduction video because I'm hoping to post this within a day or two of when I've made this video, just to kind of give you an idea of what's coming up. And it's not going to be, like I said, anything extensive or very, very professional, but it's at least something where you can see my face, hear me, and I can explain and kind of expound on some topics that solely typing it out may kind of leave a little bit to be desired, as far as really making sure that you're covered as much as possible. So things like one of the first few videos that I'm going to do, you're going to see this exact same settings. I'm going to do it right after this. Things like getting in a variety of fruit and vegetables, and how I personally approach getting in a variety for health and performance benefits without really bogging myself down with buying tons of different fruits and keeping them fresh and having to worry about all these different things. And there's some things that I personally do that I feel really helps me streamline how I get in enough variety of fruit and vegetables and things like that without really bogging myself down. So that's a video I'm going to do to kind of help explain some things that again, typing them out may not be as effective as really explaining that. Things like moving training sessions around during the week, and how you can do that when your schedule kind of gets tight, and some pros and cons. protein powder. One question that I have a lot of you ask, and just people in general, is how much protein powder is okay in a day, or is it a bad thing if you're doing multiple shakes a day? And there's just some things like that that I've up until now not really thought about as far as explaining to you. And I think one problem is, as a coach, you see the same thing over and over, and you kind of get into a rut. And I just wrongly assume that certain things are understood, or that some people might not have a question about it. And those are gaps that I've realized now I may have left uncovered, and I'm just really want to start trying to fill those in as effectively as I can. So a variety of different videos. Hopefully over the next several weeks I'll really get a lot of those out that I've either thought about a lot or had questions about a lot to really start helping. And then from there I'm just going to kind of take it by request sort of thing. So as I see things come up that are pretty commonly asked and I think would be important, I might do a video of it instead of creating more documents. That way you have documents for things like contest prep, show days, the flexibility guides that I have, the sleeping guides. You kind of have those documents that you can refer to on your own from week to week as needed. But then some of these videos then can kind of complement that and hopefully really work well together. And then later I'm hoping to do some training tutorials. I know I've talked to a few of you about that. I kind of have that in the works. It's just a matter of scheduling with the guy that I would like to collaborate and do that with, and just kind of help give you guys another resource to really help your training be as effective and safe as possible. So that's what's coming. This video took me a little bit longer. I was going to try to keep this one short and sweet, so sorry about that. But that's what I'm going to hopefully do over the next several weeks to really help with more client resources, and I think it'll help us all streamline everything and be that much more effective. That way, when we're checking in, I can answer these common questions more effectively, and then really get down to very, very personalized questions and check-ins, and that way I can just give you as much of a bang for your buck as possible during our time together. So look out for these videos. I hope they help. Even if you don't want to comment on this, because I'm going to post this in the Facebook group page to kind of update everyone. Even if you don't want to comment on this, if you have anything specific, as always, if you have questions, specific to me, definitely message me or email me. I guess in our check-in thread would be the most effective for me. But if you have questions, if you have comments on something that I can do on these upcoming videos to help you guys a little bit more, always open for suggestions. I really want to focus on my social media as far as expanding AP Fitness. I don't do as much with, and there's a variety of reasons for that. But I just want to make sure that the time and effort that I'm putting in outside of check-ins and programming is to really help you guys that are already a part of AP Fitness, and not constantly trying to get more and more clients. As much as I'm still trying to grow AP Fitness, it's still not quite as big as I envision it to be ultimately, and I could always use a bigger team. Of course this is my full-time career. I don't want to constantly be trying to get new clients at the expense of not doing as much for you guys, and not really focusing on a lot of you day ones that have been here for months, and some of you even years, that have really supported me and believed in what I'm doing, and that's really important to me. So I want to first make sure I'm doing as many resources and AP Fitness exclusive things to help you guys out, and then just kind of letting things continue to grow organically from there, based on me doing good work and not me constantly, for lack of a better term, whoring myself out on Instagram and social media, even though I probably should do a little bit more of that. But it's just kind of my personal belief in how I want to continue letting this grow. So just another thing that I really want to do to help you guys out, and as always, if there's anything that I can help with these videos or otherwise, please let me know, and hopefully these videos help. But definitely keep on lookout for those, and thanks again, guys and gals, for everything, because it's been a fun and challenging first full year, now in month, I guess, 14 of doing this exclusively full-time. And there's still a lot of growth to be had, but for it to even be at this point, I can't thank each of you enough for trusting in me and believing in what I do, and really just being an awesome group to work with. I couldn't ask for better clients. So looking forward to the next several months of continuing to grow this thing and helping you guys as much as possible. And thanks again for checking these out, and hope it helps.